Okay, extremely rainy day today, and I guess the news, where does this come from? Everything is about guns and guns in Canada. Apparently, there's some kind of ban on assault style, I guess, guns and weapons here in Canada. This one says, enough is enough. Feds unveil ban on 1,500 assault style firearms. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says the federal government is banning a range of assault style guns with an order that takes effect immediately. It says the Public Safety Minister Bill Blair describing it as a first step with others still to come. The ban will see a total of 1,500 assault-style firearms banned for use, sale, import, or transport in Canada effective immediately, and includes a 2-year amnesty period for current owners. So to my understanding, like it says here, there will be a buyback program as well. So this law essentially affects everyone who owns things like a firearm. You can kind of see what the person said, I guess, like in a press release.
For decades, Canadians have been calling upon successive governments for reform, for stronger gun control. We have listened. And as of today, the market for assault weapons in Canada is closed. Enough is enough. We are ending the proliferation of these weapons and the militarization of our society. And people from coast to coast have been clear. We cannot risk another shooting at a school or a place of worship or another attack on police officers or on women or on innocent Canadians anywhere in this country. Banning assault-style firearms will save Canadian lives. I want to assure hunters and farmers and target shooters in this country that nothing that we are doing today or will do in the future is intended to interfere with this lawful, responsible, and legal activity. However, we are today ending the availability of weapons that were not designed for hunting or for target shooting. They were rather designed for soldiers to kill other soldiers. And while I appreciate that some may feel that these weapons have some recreational value, the tragic reality is that these weapons were designed to kill people and have been used to kill innocent Canadians. Public safety must always be our first priority. And these powerful firearms become deadly weapons when they fall into the wrong hands. Protecting human life must come above all else.
As to why now, which seems like out of nowhere considering we're going through like the pandemic and stuff like that, some people are saying it's due to the shooting like in Nova Scotia recently in Canada. And you can kind of see some news reporters are showing you pictures and stuff of the type of guns, you can say, that have been banned. I mean, for the record, I do not own a gun or anything like that, so my knowledge of this is pretty much zilch. Just seeing the pictures and stuff like that, you'd be saying, oh my goodness, of course, ban those. Who the heck needs to walk on the streets with something like that, right? Especially if it prevents things like shootings and all that. But I think that was the interesting thing I was thinking about, because even though for myself, I don't use a gun, I'm not very knowledgeable about them in general. I mean, my only experience with a firearm is on like what film sets where you have like armory people and all that, and they're usually fake or they're blank. But reading stuff like this, for example, says some Alberta gun enthusiasts say ban on assault-style firearms won't make Canada safer. It's a sad day for democracy, a gun owner says. Some gun enthusiasts in Alberta say the federal government immediate ban on 1,500 makes and models of military-grade assault-style weapons will do nothing to eliminate future mass shootings, reduce gun crime, or make Canada safer. But again, I guess the whole narrative is it's to protect people, because based on like various news articles again, they're saying the gunmen in Nova Scotia used these types of weapons, so it just makes sense to finally ban this stuff. So what I thought would be actually really fascinating is, what is the opinion of, I guess, an average Canadian who doesn't use a gun, like a person like myself? Would I say, oh great, I feel so much safer now, this law is basically makes sense in every single way? Or would I say, no, like this is ridiculous, like get rid of it, doesn't do anything? Keep in mind, I am not a gun owner, I don't really have knowledge of these weapons in general. Like I look through the list, all I look at is, oh, what a big picture of a gun, must be dangerous. But funny enough, from my personal perspective, just from reading this and all that, I don't see how it makes me safer personally. Because to my understanding, just from briefly reading some of the news, I believe they said that person in Nova Scotia got those guns illegally from the US. So in that sense, I don't really see how this makes Canadians safer. The thing that is a little alarming is a lot of these people, from what I understand of this news, is these registered and licensed owners now basically have their rights taken away if they use it responsibly. Now again, I don't know anything about guns, so I don't know why you would use like any of these weapons, for example, but there are 1,500 of them, so it sounds like a really broad list, so it could be banning things they use for things like, I don't know, hunting or something like that, even though in the news reports that guy says these are meant to kill people, like they were designed to do that. Is this gun ban anything like, let's just say, those crazy over-the-top drone regulations where they're afraid of little toy drones telling the public that it's gonna kill people, for example, this will save lives, when in reality an actual drone operator, like say a recreational person, knows that's completely bogus in terms of the over-exaggerated stories and how most people use them? Like for the drone stuff, I would personally argue that was all for like a public show to show people, hey, I'm doing something, so to speak, even though that guy is clearly not an expert with drones or anything like that. So it makes me wonder, in this case, again, as a person who does not use a gun or anything like that, is it the same situation where this is more political, like the creation of this, I guess, ban? Any thoughts from people who actually use things like guns, whether or not you think this is a good idea, like here in Canada, or at the same time, are you someone in favor of this? I think it'd be interesting to kind of hear different perspectives. I guess the analogy would be, if I'm interpreting this correctly, it could be a situation of them saying a sword was designed, for example, to fight, like, you know, I don't know, a war or battlefield to kill people. So because of that, they're banning every type of, I guess, long, sharp weapon like that, so to speak. Whereas people can argue now is people could use it legitimately in some way. That's how I imagine it anyways, from what I'm interpreting. Interestingly enough, to me, in reading all this, the topic isn't so much in my mind about guns and safety and protecting people's lives. It just comes across more as an issue right now, from what I read, about taking people's rights away. And then you wonder if they can do that in that situation, I guess, without proper consultation, all that, assuming that's the case. What else could you lose next? That's actually, funny enough, that would be the topic in my mind, again, as a person who doesn't use a gun or anything like that. I guess for drone stuff, it was kind of neat reading this. This one says, controlling drones and other robots with gestures. I guess this one, it says, users can make gestures to remotely control a robot wearing small sensors on their biceps, triceps, and forearm. Kind of reminds you like of a video game or something like that, so it's kind of cool. I believe they're using like a parrot drone too, like to do this, which is kind of interesting in itself, so it's like modified in some ways to make it work that way. Can you imagine controlling your drone and stuff like this? I can't imagine like that for a cinematic drone. I can imagine it more for maybe something like a drone delivery or something like that, maybe? Isn't there plenty for everyone? Holy smoke. Whoa. Funny way of saying hello if it is hello.
If I was a guessing person, I would guess that would be, that's like a dance, a love dance.
Really?
I think so.
Okay. What's that? Oh, I was like, I don't know what's going on. Holy cow! What the heck? There we go, babies go hiding. Holy shit! Is that to brush the dog's teeth? Is that what they use the stick for? Or are they actually trying to break it?
It's good for their teeth.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like their dogs chewing on sticks, but it's good for their teeth. If it makes them happy, let them be a dog. You never bite anyone.
Oh! Alright, see you guys later.